Alberta,
We've never had to sit next to
Frankfurt.
You
which
should
is
never
the town
sworn to
next
sit
door.
next to her.
Then you run across the bridge, across Betsy Bay.
Oh, it's
And you run to that
Oh,
town,
really?
you know,
All right.
you turn around and you run back.
Yeah, take it easy on the gamble.
You went by yourself?
No, I got a buddy from high school and his son and one with his wife.
Oh, yeah, I think
Just
I
really, you know,
So,
stayed, yeah.
Now,
we've been training.
there's been-
Yeah, cool place we stayed at. Nice log cabin, you know,
Yeah.
pictures, fun stuff.
A huge one. It's back
Over
there. Mr. Jones showed it to me, there's a big one back there, Stan.
I'd like to call to order the City of Algonac regular council meeting for Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. Roll call, please.
Councilman Bembas.
Here.
Councilman Carter.
Here.
Councilwoman Davy.
Here,
Councilwoman Harris.
here.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Here.
Are present.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Mayor Gillis for sickness and Councilman Corey Blair for personal reasons.
All in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. Aye. Next is a moment of silent prayer, please. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item is to approve an agenda with two additions. One is one is change in amount to the fire department. And the other is, remind me again?
Christmas tree adding.
Christmas tree.
Adding.
Yes, adding the Christmas tree. Motion to approve.
Support.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have a presentation in our meeting. This is an Adopt a Park presentation. And it's for the Lions Club. It was to be presented by Mayor Rocky Gillis, but he's sorry he's ill. And he wishes he was here for this. At the suggestion of a resident, the city recently started Adopt a Street and Adopt a Park programs. These new programs create an activity that family members of all ages can participate in together. Teach kids about public service and being involved locally and encourage pride in the community. Both programs are modeled after the MDOT Adopt a Highway program, where volunteers are asked to pick up litter at least 2 times per year between April and October. Interested volunteers, service groups, neighbors, or families should submit an application to the city, which are available on the city's website. The Algonac Lions Club has submitted an application to adopt the Lions Field. The city is grateful for the interest and support of the Algonac Lions Club, whose efforts make Algonac a better place to live, work, and play. Other city parks available to adopt include Columbia Street Playground, Riverfront Park, Scout Street Playground, and Smith Recreation Park. Today there are representatives from the Lions Club here. Dwayne, and I'm not sure the last.
Oh, Dwayne, I can never.
And Lion President here.
And Lion President, yes, are here.
Thank you.
And Mrs. Dwayne.
Mrs.
And if you would come forward.
Oh, wow.
We have a sign.
Be cool.
And I think Dwayne should come forward because he's the one that actually submitted the form.
Who made the sign?
City.
Oh, yeah?
Chris Rob.
I made it, did that work?
I think that, no?
Will you come up here? Let somebody else take it, yes.
Drag her up.
Hey, Donna, how about Chris?
Kathy.
Get all the girls
Get
up.
up here.
No, okay,
Kathy,
come on Kathy.
Get up
Thank
here.
you.
There you go. Okay.
There we go.
Smile.
nice picture. Smile, Ray. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
And thank you, and we'll keep this, and then put it up at the
You should
last.
have got in there, Donna.
Thank you guys.
So, yes, that's the type of sign that will be put up in neighborhoods,
Very cool.
streets, and playgrounds.
Oh, we're done? Oh.
So thank you again, Algonac Lions.
Thanks,
Where you
everybody.
going, Billy?
Thank you.
Good to see you guys.
Do you want us to hang it, or do you guys wanna hang it?
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
Thank you.
Tomorrow.
I busted my daughter's jobs for you.
At this time in our meeting, we'll have public comment. Is there anybody here who wishes to speak? If not, then we'll move on to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Martin. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the verification of water line materials. As everyone knows, the state of Michigan is requiring that all the Michigan communities verify what service line materials residents have inside and outside of their homes. Over 300 houses in Algonac were randomly selected and sent a letter last Friday about the process. Homeowners can document the water line material themselves or request assistance. There's more information that is also posted on the city website and on Facebook. The Algonac Water Plant staff will be handling most of the inspections with the assistance of DPW, and property owners are asked to set up times for appointments during the following hours: Monday 1 to 3, Tuesdays and Thursdays 8:30 to 11:30, or 1 to 3. There's no appointments on Fridays and Sundays. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, I have a question. Do we have specific updates for Gulfview?
Mrs. Gersinger?
Thank you, Councilman Bembas. They did pave the first coat today on Gulfview. They're hoping to get a portion of the second coat done, although I don't know if they finished that yet today. They will be back tomorrow, so things are going well.
Are we thinking by the weekend, or that they'll be done with cement?
We're putting down asphalt.
Okay.
Yeah, they're doing asphalt, so I never like to give a specific date, just because if there's a rainstorm or something that could impact it. But hopefully they will be done by over the weekend, yes.
Okay. And I'd ask, just because I've had a few, messages, about, garbage pickup. I don't know if they could, if they're still busy doing it on Thursday, maybe they could pick up the garbage on Friday or make different arrangements. Just because I know a few people have complained about their recycling didn't get picked up or things like that. Might be something to look at, I don't know. Just a suggestion, think outside the box.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin, I know that Spark Grant was September. Do we, since we're getting close to the end of December, do we have any clue of when we might hear on Spark Grant?
Councilwoman Davy, they said end of September, but we have not seen anything yet.
Thank you.
questions? Moving on in our meeting to the consent agenda. It consists of city council meeting minutes from September 5th, department reports of blight enforcement, building, DPW, finance, fire department, water department, communications and notices, boards and commission roster, and no miscellaneous business.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? New business. First item in new business is to introduce agreements creating the South Water Municipal Utility Authority for the wastewater treatment plant presentation. Request a motion or,
No, I can just go for it.
okay,
Um,
city manager, please.
Thank you. So as you know, back in February of 2022, the St. Clair County Department of Public Works advised the cities of Algonac and the townships of Clay and Ira that we needed to form an authority to take over the daily responsibility and operations of the wastewater treatment plant. In April of 2022, City Council retained a law firm to create the authority. And I have a short presentation today, to introduce to you the final documents to create the South Water Municipal Utility Authority that are now ready for City Council review and approval. So the administrators of all the three communities have been presenting the final documents to their governing boards for approval. So Ira approved theirs last week, Clay Township approved theirs last night, and we are doing ours in two parts. So today, we are doing an introduction, and as you saw from the volume of material that you received in your packet, there's probably a couple hundred pages worth of agreements to review. So today, I'm gonna give you an overview of it, and then the public and the city council has an opportunity to do further review, and then we'll bring it back at the next meeting, for your answer any questions that you may have from today, at the next meeting. So, to start off with the presentation. So, start off with the history. So, obviously, the plant was built in 1966, and, that was when we decided we needed a sewage treatment plant. In 1967, the St. Clair County built, owned, and operated the plant on behalf of the city. In 1968, it was complete and operational. In 1971, it was expanded to serve Clay and Ira townships, and St. Clair County entered a 40-year contract with all three communities. In February of 2022, the St. Clair County notified Algonac, Clay, and Ira that they wished to end management of the plant. And in April of 2022, Algonac, Clay, and Ira started working with an attorney to create a management authority. So now it is September of 2023, and the final agreements are ready for approval. So, the establishment of the South Water Municipal Utility Authority requires 4 different agreements. There's an agreement and articles of incorporation, a transfer agreement, an employee leasing agreement, and a sewer systems service agreement. So the first one, the agreement and articles of incorporation, this agreement transfers the county-operated wastewater treatment plant to the authority. The articles of incorporation secure the name of the authority and make it a legal entity. The name is South Water Municipal Utility Authority. The allocated treatment capacity for each community remains the same, which is Algonac 30%, Clay Township 35%, Ira Township 35%. The authority will be governed by a board with 3 trustees. Each community will appoint 1 trustee and 1 alternate. The board will meet at least quarterly every year. The authority board will adopt its own rules of procedures and bylaws, and minutes of each of the meetings of the authority after approval shall be transmitted to the clerk of each community. The authority will have its own insurance. Second document is the transfer agreement. So this agreement transfers all assets and operations of the wastewater treatment plant to the authority, tentatively effective November 1st of 2023. That would include all property and real estate, all accounts receivable and accounts payable, all related funds in the county possession, all licenses and permits, all tools, spare parts, vehicles, and other inventory, any land interests across public or private lands like right-of-ways or easements, any plans that exist for mains, laterals, pumps, force mains, etc., and assignment of the county's interest in all current engineering and construction contracts. The third agreement is the employee leasing agreement. So this agreement allows the authority to lease all employees from the county through February 29th, 2024. That date was picked because it's actually the end of their union contract. This will give the authority time to retain human resources and financial services. After February 29th, the authority shall become the employer of all the existing employees except the current plant supervisor. This arrangement allows the current plant supervisor to continue as a county employee and maintain previously negotiated pension benefits. The authority shall continue to lease the plant supervisor from the county per the employee leasing agreement. The last document is a sewer systems service agreement. So this agreement is between the South Water Municipal Utility Authority and Algonac Clay and IRO. It outlines the scope of services to be provided by the authority to the communities and the responsibilities of the communities. The authority will be preparing, printing, and mailing quarterly invoices to each community. The authority will operate, administer, maintain, and repair the wastewater treatment plant to provide sanitary sewer service to each community. Each community will make an annual capital improvement contribution to the authority, which we do now. Each community will adopt a 5-year inflow and infiltration reduction plan that shall be submitted to the authority no later than January of 2024. The plant may be expanded subject to mutual approval and execution of a separate agreement with all parties. And the authority shall prepare a 5-year capital improvement plan for the wastewater treatment plant. Each community shall prepare a 5-year capital improvement plan for their local collection systems as well, and provide a copy of that plan to the authority. A community or the authority may terminate the agreement by giving the other parties at least 2 years written notice. So, a special provision that affects Algonac is with the sewer system service agreement concerns overcapacity. Actual metered flows will be documented each quarter. Any community over their allocated capacity will be invoiced accordingly. If a community exceeds 85% of their allocated capacity, they will be notified by the authority in writing. Within 6 months of that notice, the community must implement one or more of the following actions: acquire capacity from another community, fund expansion of the plant to provide additional capacity, develop a program to detect and eliminate sources of inflow and infiltration. If the community exceeds 100% of their allocated capacity, the authority shall surcharge community at a rate equal to twice the then current rate, and the surcharge proceeds shall be placed in the capital improvement account. The community shall enforce a moratorium on the issuance of additional building permits for premises subject to connection to the sanitary sewer collection system. As you know, we've discussed, we know from our SAW grant, Algonac has a significant an infiltration program that we've been working on to come up with a program, and we have started to take steps to reduce it. But the agreement is going to affect us. So this is, we took a look at the past 3 years. If we would have been charged for our overcapacity, this is an estimate of what we would have been charged in the 3-year period as a penalty for being over our capacity. So that was $55,000 estimated over a period of 3 years. And with that, I can answer any questions or take down your questions.
No, you can.
Okay,
Ladies
fine,
first.
let's take a look. Mayor Pro Tem Martin. I have a few things. First, do you know if, because when I looked at Clay Township's website after they had their first meeting where they had postponed it, they had, I'm assuming that it might have been our township, according to the minutes from the DPW, they had gotten there with the agreement, then they had to kind of wait a little bit because Ira Township wanted to add some language to it. And I'm wondering, first of all, if the language was the overcapacity.
No.
It wasn't, okay.
The language was to, have the minutes of the meetings submitted to the clerk.
Oh, okay.
So that, cause then the clerk would then pass those on to, the city council.
Yeah, cause it's, what they had included on Clay Township's website is, we have very strong language over the overcapacity, which, you know, that's been an issue. I guess my concern is, what's next? I mean, we are going to set this up, the surcharges with overcapacity and the issues that we've discussed here regarding infrastructure. I guess my first thing is what's next? We went, and had looked through, a few of the numbers, and since 2018, there were 22 quarters, and in 16 of those quarters, we've been over capacity. And it's, right now, as it stands, we are at, for the second quarter, 3.78 over capacity. And the adjusted flow in gallons is 85,722, a little bit over. Now, according to what I have, that's the third highest quarter that we've been over capacity. It concerns me that, what are we gonna do next? We've gotta start getting a handle on this. And again, I'm going to, like I talked about with the gentlemen when they were here from HRC, about the Clean Water State Revolving Fund loan. According to the SAW grant, there were, 4 priority districts in the city with high I&I. That's gonna be, all this is gonna be really difficult to take care of with $2,000 out of a capital improvement fund. It's, with this loan, and like I said, I had mentioned it with the gentlemen who were here from HRC, they just put out their list of awardees for, or people who had, communities that had gotten that loan. Ira Township just got 3.25 million. And when you look at the scoring points for this loan, the high score was, I believe, 100, was it? Yeah, 100 was the highest. Ira got 3.25 with 20 points on the score. And that was for their asset management program. In 2022, there was nothing, believe it or not, I was surprised, nothing in this county for 2023. 2022, an HRC did the loan, all the loan work for Marysville. I think it cost them 30 grand, Marysville, to do this. They got $4.8 million. Cotterville that same year got $3.3 million. East China got $3.2 million. And if I'm not mistaken, Cotterville got a substantial amount of money from that loan erased because they were considered a disadvantaged community. I would ask right now, November 1st is the deadline to submit an intent to apply letter. It, it doesn't cost anything, it's not, it's something that HRC would have to draw up and cost us 10 grand to submit. And what that does is, submittal will assign a water infrastructure funding and financing project manager out here to discuss the next steps in the planning process. The gentleman had said, when I had asked them about it when they were here, had said that, well, it's gonna cost you money and you don't know if you're gonna get it. Marysville paid $30,000, now they got their loan, but at some point, it's the cost of doing business. We have been saying for how long that, well, this is here now, and this is the result of decades of nothing being done. We can't kick that can down the street anymore. Right now, we have no loans to pay on it, we're not paying any bonds. The situation isn't gonna get any better. We're what, a really bad rainstorm away again of having issues at the wastewater treatment plant. I know in September of 2021, when they had that, second issue, a lot of what they found in there was sand, and I'm assuming that could have been from Superior busting the line over at Robbins, probably, I'm not sure, played part in that. But, you know, things that are out of our control. But at some point, we've gotta seriously work with this. I would really like to have, representatives from HRC at our next meeting, so we can discuss this a little bit more with them than we did the last time they were here. This just, with the authority, especially with the overcapacity surcharges and all of that fun stuff, for me, it just kind of brings this whole situation to the forefront again. So, I'd just like us to consider moving in that direction, at least submit an intent to apply and see where it goes from there. And that's all I got.
If you don't mind,
I'm done.
Mayor Pro Tem. So what I'm hearing from, Councilwoman Davy is that she's asking the city manager to look into getting what kind of loan?
This is the Clean Water State Revolving Fund,
Okay, so
and
where,
I forget what the interest rate is, I think it's
Oh,
just over
that's
2%.
for her to find out.
Right, it's over 2.
so you're asking the city manager to look into that clean water, loan
Yes.
and how that could help us, and then to actually have HRC here to give us more information.
Yes.
I see, I understand. I just wanna make sure I was clear, cause, yeah, just make sure we're all on the same
Yeah.
page.
And it, just submitting a letter of intent to apply doesn't cost us anything. And they'll send people out here to see if it's even, you know, something that is in our wheelhouse.
Mayor Pro Tem, is that fine with the city manager to look into that?
Mrs. Gerstenberg?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Martin. Councilman Douglas, yes, I have been looking into that, now that the SAW grant has been completed and we know where our problems are, we know where we should direct our requests for funding. We have been working the past couple of years to develop a plan, as you know, we inspect our rental homes, we're out to bid right now for a sewer lining program. Right now on Gulfview with our construction projects, we are including the lining of the sanitary sewers with the construction projects. But, so we are working towards it, but as you said, this has been a long time coming. This is not something we are going to fix in a year or two. It's a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. And this
Absolutely.
Clean Water State Revolving Fund is one of the possible tools in our toolbox that we can use.
Mayor Pro Tem, I have a couple questions. One, I just, it's a favorite saying of mine, and I'll say it, and I know the city manager will probably roll their eyes at me, but what's the best way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. This didn't happen overnight, it's not gonna get fixed overnight, but I know we're making progress just with Robbins, God bless those people, and with, Gulfview, does it fix it? No. Does it get us in the right path? Yes. So I'm looking at this and I just wanna make sure I'm clear. If a community exceeds 85% of allocated capacity, they'll be notified by the authority. And then we have to borrow capacity or pay another community for their capacity that they're not using.
The community may implement one or more of the following actions, and when they're talking about acquire capacity from another community, we may have to ask Iowa or Clay to get a portion of theirs. Highly unlikely that they would be willing to give up their capacity.
So we'd have to buy it from them.
I don't even think they'd allow us to buy it.
That's not a discussion that we have had, but that's just giving you an idea of of actions that can be taken.
It's kinda like with the,
I mean, within 6 months of notice, the community must implement one or more of the following actions, so we're going to, number 3, develop a program to detect and eliminate sources of infill and infiltration, which we have already significantly started. But then we're going to probably exceed our capacity again, right, so.
right,
Hence the surcharges,
if the community exceeds 100% of allocated capacity, the authority shall surcharge us at a rate equal to twice the then current rate, and proceeds shall be placed in a capital improvement account. And the capital improvement account would pay for what exactly? The plant overall, or come back for us to fix pipes?
no, it does not go back to fixed pipes, it pays for the wear and tear on the plant as a result of our overuse.
All right, and then just looking, cause, you know, for me, I mean, we gotta do what we gotta do. I'm not eager just to say, okay, vote yes right away. I'm not sure one more meeting would be enough, cause we're dealing with giving up a lot of authority and a lot of money and things like that. I really wanna make sure we all in council do our due diligence and make the right decision. I would hope with the things that we've done that this would, the estimated overcapacity surcharge would have been going down, but even with the changes we've made, I'm not seeing, I mean, December of 21 and March of 22 was heavy, you know, big time water, but even going back to June 23 and June 22, it's even more. Overall, are we trending down over the last, say, 5, 6, 8 years? You know, with some of the improvements we've made? Or are we just kinda, dropping rain into a bucket, a drop at a time?
I would not say you've been trending down, we've been trending down over the past 5 to 8 years, we went through the flooding, remember we had high water too.
Right.
So everybody was over capacity everywhere, you know,
Yeah.
throughout the state of Michigan. Our significant improvements have been in just the past couple of years, but again, it's a big problem.
Okay.
And if it helps you at all, in one of our, and I have it here, with, the numbers, and they fluctuate from here to there. And what I had gotten from the county back forever ago, I know like I said, right now, this is where we are, where this past quarter is the 3rd highest
Right.
since what?
And I know we've had a lot of rain,
Right.
but we've done some things that I would have hoped it'd be starting to see a trend of going down somewhat. I don't know, I'm not a engineer or a water plant person, so that's why I asked, just to know.
I have a question. We had a significant rain episode not that long ago. We were required to shut down our lift stations.
Yes.
I think Clay and Ira were also at the same time.
Yeah, everybody was working around the clock to limit the amount of water that was going to the wastewater treatment plant I think it was like a Monday and Tuesday.
Now, that kind of concept is all going to be put into, or is in this agreement.
All of that cooperation will continue.
Who decided, who made the determination that this is now the time to shut them all down?
You mean the pumps?
Yeah.
The wastewater treatment plant, the supervisor of the wastewater treatment plant. He's the one that calls out the DPW and the water departments and says, hey, I'm getting way too much water from you, you have to do X, Y, Z.
And that issue where we came, where it was critical, that would be the third time that this has happened. Something like this, critical, has happened. It was January 12th, 2020 and September 21st, 2021. And you hate to see it get to where it's critical. I understand that, you know, overall, this agreement, I mean, we gotta do this. I mean, the county's made it clear that we're done. We're done playing in sandmines. Like I said, my concern isn't necessarily with the new authority. My biggest concern is what's next. We gotta plan.
I still have a few more questions, Mayor Pro Tem, but if anybody else has
Okay, I'm
questions, I
sorry.
don't wanna.
I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no, no.
I apologize.
You're fine.
Any, maybe
I'm
from,
listening.
Yeah.
I would like you to speak.
Okay, okay. Okay, the authority to be governed by a board with 3 trustees. Do we know how long their term will last? Or is that something we have to decide? And do they have to be a citizen of Algonac?
We do know how long the terms are, it's in the agreements, the first time, obviously the first time it's different, I think the first time Algonac is 3 years, Clay is 2, and then Ira is 1, but eventually it'll be on, I think, 3-year terms for each one.
Do they have to be a citizen of the community?
Yes, the Algonac person would have to be a citizen of Algonac, or it could be a possibly an employee.
It could be, okay,
Which
good.
could be.
Right, because you don't want somebody on there just because they're a citizen and they know absolutely not, I would not be good on this board. What do I know about water? You know, I drank, you know, that's about it. You know. Okay, I think I've bothered you enough.
Now, Mayor Pro Tem, with the, downriver communities before, it was on the trustee or on the board was, the supervisor of Clay, supervisor of Ira, and you.
There was no board before.
Or the downriver communities,
You mean the recreation?
no, for the wastewater treatment plant, when you guys would meet quarterly,
So,
yeah, there were 3, right, or no?
there was no appointed boards or anything, that the St. Clair County, Department of Roads would just have meetings, when there was a problem, or quarterly at the least, to go over budgets, capital improvements, but it was St. Clair County who ran it, and we participated in the meetings. So we weren't appointed to them.
Okay, got it.
any other questions or comments?
I'd like to postpone this also until, I think we need more time to look into this further.
Do you think it's too
Mayor
late?
Pro Tem Martin, this is your introduction, so all you're doing is getting information, and you're providing me with any questions that you may have. Ones I can answer, other ones I can take back and find the answers, and then your proposed adoption isn't until the next meeting. So maybe it's just an introduction to talk about it, talk about any issues that you may have, questions.
Is next meeting enough time for the city manager to get HRC out here as council?
Well, that's different, yeah,
Okay.
That's a
different situation.
Gotcha, you're right,
You're looking right now
You're right.
at the approval of the agreements.
Absolutely, you're right.
What Councilwoman Deeby is talking
Yeah.
about is, what is our plan moving forward?
Right.
Now that we know through the saw grant what our problems are, we know what we're gonna have to address to make these fixes. How is there the possibility to use the revolving fund to help us fix our problems? So separate issues.
Now, at Clay Township's meeting last night, they had Chris Hiltunen,
Chris Sutton?
that's it, at their meeting last night to try to help explain some things. Is it possible to maybe have him come
particular questions that you have for Mr. Hilton?
Yeah, I didn't know if that would help anybody. I know that there was questions at Clay's meeting that he was able to, he gave them a better understanding of what was what. And I don't know if we think that would be helpful to have him here to for us to ask questions, or just for him to explain it a little bit clearer to us. I don't know.
He was at their last meeting,
Last night.
last
Yes.
night,
Yes,
and they approved it last.
after postponing it and after a very long
Well, they had some, extenuating circumstances at their meeting
Yes.
yesterday.
yes, they did. Yes.
So Councilwoman David, you want HRC and Chris Hilton to come here?
Not HRC at the next meeting. I would like Chris Hilton to possibly, if he can, cause he's not a city employee, we can't make him come. For Chris to be here at the next meeting. HRC, yeah, the meeting after that, so we can get it figured out. Well, but that's just.
So it sounds like right now, we're not sure we wanna postpone a decision?
Well, you don't have to make any decisions today.
Yeah.
You're, other
This
than,
is simply
Right, but
it's
presenting the
informational
assembly.
for you to ask questions. And if
what
there's-
I'm leading into though is thinking that each one of us might take the responsibility after reading through the agreement to say, to let the city manager know, I am not ready to make a decision at the next meeting.
We would have to say, I think we would have to say at the next meeting, if we wanted to delay it, not at this
Right,
one.
but give the city manager the heads up that may be a motion, that may be a feeling that will be there the night of the, agreement, adopting or not.
Well, it would be helpful then to know, what questions that you would like answered. If you have particular questions about finances or about the sewer capacity. I mean, it depends on what questions you have. It could be maybe Brian Roy would have to be here. He's the current supervisor of the wastewater treatment plant. Chris Hilton is a water plant supervisor for New Baltimore and Ira. So it'd be helpful if you either provide me with your questions this evening, or, if you got them to me so that I knew who to have available to answer those questions.
How soon would you need the emailed questions before the next meeting, so you'd have time to prep? We don't wanna we shouldn't be emailing you Tuesday at 4:00. Here's my questions.
You should get them at least in the next week, and then I'd have to ask those people if they are able to attend the meeting also, right? So they would need a heads up.
Right, and I think if we're bringing Chris Hilton, we probably should bring in Josh.
Remember, now, this is all about sanitary sewer and
Yeah,
wastewater. So
yeah.
you're talking,
Okay.
Chris Hilton and Josh Stewart are water. Like,
Right.
so two different plants with different types.
And the reason I had mentioned Chris is because I listened to him explaining to the residents who were there last night, and the members of the board, what's gone on previous, and, I thought it was good, because I thought he provided a pretty good understanding to some of them who still were, had questions.
So, Mr. Hilton has a lot of technical knowledge. So what I don't know exactly what he said last night, but you're saying that you would like to have him share that same information.
Yes.
That technical information, you think it'd be beneficial to the board and the residents?
I think so.
Not necessarily you have a particular question, but that
Right.
would be good information to share. Is that
Yes,
where you're going, okay,
exactly. And
so I
you-
could ask him to do that.
Yeah, to basically come and do what he did in Clay Township last night. And like I said, I listened to him, and it was, it was informative, you know, cause I've looked at all this stuff before. There were things that I didn't have a clue on, as it pertains to the agreement, listening to him, you know, I'm like, oh, okay. I do have a question though, when we upped the total amount with the three to put towards the fund up to 250, correct? Last year,
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
where the amount that they put into the maintenance, all three, did that go up to 250 total?
Well, we used to each give around 60,000, then went up to 75,000.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, in the past 5 years, the amount that we put into the equipment replacement fund has gone up for all three communities.
And it was just last year, I think it went up to 75, correct?
Yes, for us, yes.
Got it.
So at this point, we will just move forward in reading the materials that we have and deciding if we are ready to move forward or not.
I think so.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Mhm.
my understanding of the first part of them is to introduce the agreements, which we haven't formally done yet. And the next meeting would be to approve. And I think we need to introduce them and have the vote on introducing, that way we can move on. But it's a two-part thing, so we haven't even formally introduced them yet.
That's correct.
The real agreement.
You do have the real agreements in front of you.
Yes.
Every community's sort of been doing it a little bit different. We felt that it was good to have you introduced to all the documents because they're so, big. And then you could put all your questions together and then you could look at adoption at the second meeting. Clay Township, they just put it on the agenda for approval, it got postponed, and they moved it to the second meeting. Iowa Township did it in 2 separate meetings also. So, this is something that we don't typically have, something of this magnitude, so that's why we thought it would be best for council and the residents to see it twice.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'm looking at the agenda statement here, and going by what, Mr. Carter said, I guess I would then make a motion to introduce the agreements necessary to create the South Water Municipal Utility Authority, which include the agreement and articles of incorporation, the transfer agreement, the employee leasing agreement, and the sewer systems service agreement.
I'll support.
Any other questions or comments?
I think we said enough.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, moving on to to approve proposal of 2023 Algonac Bridge inspections. The FHWA developed and implemented a national program to assure bridges are safe. Every 24 months, communities are required to inspect their bridges using the National Bridge Inventory 0 to 9 rating scale. Inspectors give a rating to each of the bridge's primary elements, deck, superstructure, and substructure, and submit this information to MDOT. Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick would conduct these bridge inspections and submit the necessary documentation to MDOT. Following bridges would be inspected: Ruskin Avenue over Oriole Canal, Edgewater Drive over the Bateau Canal, Venetian Way over Canal parallel to M29, Channelside Drive over Canal parallel to M29, Roselawn Court over Canal parallel to M29. AEW satisfactorily completed the last required round of inspections for the city. Because of the recent load ratings documentation efforts, AEW does not anticipate needing to perform new load calculation for these structures. A cost savings to the city this next 24-month period. Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the proposal for the 2023 Algonac Bridge inspections from Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick Incorporated, whose address is 51301 Shaner Road in Shelby Township, in the amount of $4,625, and to direct the city manager to sign the proposal on behalf of the city.
Support.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman Bembas,
Yes.
Councilman Carter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Davies,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item C is to consider boards and commissions appointments and reappointments. The following residents have submitted an application to be considered for appointment. Algonac Housing Commission, Kimberly Catanacci, to fill the remaining term of Barbara Fallman, whose term will expire June 30th, 2024. Walter Rose to fill the remaining term of Kevin Barnhill, whose term expires June 30, 2023. And the following board member as a term expiring would like to be considered for reappointment. That's the library board, Kim Blair, term ending October 1st, 2023. The boards and commissions appointment policy approved by City Council in December 2015 states that new applicants will not be sought out in the case of a requested reappointment unless by majority of the council. Motion, please.
Make a motion to appoint Kimberly Catanacci, to the Housing Commission for a partial term ending June 30th, 2024. Walter Rose III to the Housing Commission for a partial term ending June 30th, 2028. And Kim Blair reappointed to the Library Board for a 3-year term ending October 1, 2026.
Support.
Questions or comments?
Do we have a long list of, future applicants? We don't have anybody, do we?
No, we do not.
Tried to recruit.
Didn't think so.
Tried to recruit.
Put out an roll call.
Yeah, well, you gotta appreciate the people who do volunteer to do these things. It's not like the pay is great. But, thank you to these 3 people for doing this.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
Opposed? Next item is to approve removal of the water meter pit and relocate the water meter pit at 143 Channelside Drive. A water meter pit located in the right-of-way at 143 Channelside Drive was so high due to ground shifting, it had become a trip hazard and could even damage a vehicle. On September 7th, 2023, Duluth Construction removed the water meter pit in the driveway and relocated the water meter inside the home. The home had been vacant for some time, and the new owner, Sal Panessa, requested the fix. We have an invoice attached.
I'll make a motion to approve payment to Duluth Construction, whose address is 5727 Reamer Road, China, Michigan, for the removal of the water meter pit and relocation of the water meter replacement at 143 Channelside Drive in the amount of $2,515.
Support.
Any comments, questions? Roll call, please.
Councilman Carter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Davy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Bembas.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item E is to approve fire department emergency reporting service. The amount has been increased on our agenda. The fire department currently uses a reporting system called emergency reporting. By the end of 2023, this system will be obsolete and will no longer be compliant with the standards established by the state of Michigan. Reading from the old one. Let's see. The fire department will need to change to a new platform which is offered by ESO. ESO offers an integrated suite of software products for EMS agencies, fire departments, and hospitals that is transforming the way responders collect, share, report, and analyze critical information to improve community health and safety. ESO will migrate all existing emergency reporting reports and documents to the new system. Attached is a 3-year agreement with ESO. Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve fire department emergency reporting service through ESO Solutions Incorporated, whose address is P.O. Box 679449 in Dallas, Texas, for a 3-year period in the amount of $8,337, and direct the city manager to sign the agreement on behalf of the city.
Support.
Questions? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Davy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Bembas,
Yes.
Councilman Carter.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item F, to approve design engineering for water filtration plant actuator replacement. The city needs to replace the aged filtration backwash air actuators and valve components in the city's water filtration plant. The plant performs periodic backwash and chemical cleaning cycles for each of the 4 filtration membranes, trains. These systems utilize a series of actuator-controlled butterfly valves with air-driven pneumatic actuators to open and close the valves and initiate the backwash and chemical cleaning cycles. Hubble, Roth & Clark has provided a proposal to assist the water plant with implementing the phased replacement of air actuators for each of the 4 microfiltration machines.
I'll make a motion to approve contract for design engineering services for the water filtration plant actuator replacement with Hubble, Roth & Clark, whose address is 555 Hewlett Drive, Bloomfield Hills, in the amount of $19,500, and direct the city manager to sign the contract on behalf of the city.
Second.
Seems as there are no questions or comments, so roll call, please.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Bembas,
Yes.
Councilman Carter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Davy.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item G, to approve engineering services to manage the water service line materials investigation program. The Michigan Safe Drinking Water Act has placed specific requirements on the municipal water supply systems for the verification of water service line materials and replacement of service lines, both public and private side, that are lead or galvanized and are or were connected to a lead service. All communities are required to submit a final distribution system materials inventory to Eagle by January 1st, 2025. The first step of this program is to identify where these water lines are. Per Eagle specifications, a randomly created list of 327 Algonac addresses was created, and last week each property owner received a letter about the upcoming inspection of their water service lines. The Algonac Water Plant staff will handle most inspections with the assistance of DPW. This work is funded by a drinking water asset management grant the city engineer Hubble, Roth and Clark applied for on behalf of the city. The city was awarded $455,240 in January of 2022. Professional engineering services are necessary to manage the program and complete the final inventory. Based on the scope of work and the assumptions provided, the cost to complete the work, which is covered 100% by the grant, is $46,041.48.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposal for engineering services for water sewer line, service line materials investigation by HRC, whose address is P.O. Box 824, Bloomfield Hills, and direct the city manager to sign the proposal on behalf of the city in the amount not to exceed $46,041.48.
Support.
And this, Mayor Pro Tem, this is something that we have to do. Just so everybody knows, we don't have a choice, it's gotta do.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Bembas.
Yes.
Councilman Carter.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davy.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item H, to approve purchase and installation of a city tree. In the amount of $16,682. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve purchase and installation of the 24-foot concolor fir tree from Green Acres Tree Farm in the amount of $16,682.
For months now, the city has been looking for a new tree at City Hall to replace the previous tree that had been removed due to disease. In the past, this tree served as the city Christmas tree. Shelby Sterling originally quoted $9,000 for a tree not installed. However, they were unable to find a tree at that price. Yesterday, on September 18th, 2023, Shelby Sterling submitted 2 quotes for a tree from Green Acres Tree Farm. Marine City Nursery was contacted several times with no response. Due to weather conditions, the contractor suggested immediate planting. Administration is recommending purchasing the 24-foot concolor fir tree, including delivery, installation, and a 12-month warranty. The DPW does not have the equipment to install a tree of this size. The tree will be installed at City Hall in the same location as the previous Christmas tree. Any,
So, Mayor Pro Tem, if I may, it's gonna be right out here, Denise, where the other one was.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin. So, I'm looking at this and it's $16,682 to put the tree in and $5,416,000 for just the tree. Is that what I'm looking at? Is that what I'm looking at?
Mrs. Gerstenberg?
So the first estimate is if we dig the hole and we do the installation, but we don't have the equipment
Okay,
for that size of tree. All we have is a backhoe, we'd have to have a crane, and we don't have a crane for that tree. So they'd be bringing in all of their equipment and they would be doing it.
I just got a picture in my head of, I was trying to.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
To city manager, am I correct, that's including transport and all the equipment loading and then doing the tree?
That is correct, Councilman Carter.
And the warranty.
And the warranty, that's a
Yes.
big deal.
Mhm.
So it's not a matter of just buying a tree, it's a matter, cause if we bought the tree, we would have to go get it, so that $16,000 does seem like a lot, but there's a great deal there that they're doing, so.
Right, and it's a huge tree.
Yeah, I just was trying to clear that up. Plus, who knows what's under there? That, where we wanna put that tree, where the other one used to be, so, and they take care of that.
Yes, they
From
would
what I'm
dig the
looking
hole
at
and do
here.
the installation, yes.
Excellent.
Well, I feel good about, getting a live tree back in place for use. And, my only caution would be that if, the tree, if we feel uncomfortable with the establishment of that tree and messing around with it this season, to have the, structure like we had at the front of City Hall maybe for a year again or something, as an alternative would be fine, just so that the tree has a good chance.
Sounds good.
I didn't even get to the part where it's got the picture of the actual tree. I'm just looking at this and I'm like, oh wow, that's cool. We gotta put this in this, on the website somewhere so people can actually see what this is. Cause it's pretty impressive tree.
The dog likes it.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Bembas,
Yes.
Councilman Carter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Davy,
Yes,
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Accounts payable,
I make a motion to approve accounts payable and payroll in the amount of $268,142.21.
Support.
if there are no questions or comments, roll call?
Councilman Bembas,
Yes.
Councilman Carter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Davy,
yes.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin,
Yes.
motion carried.
City manager, please, items for next agenda?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Let's see, we have the U.S. Coast Guard winter mooring contract, a few nuisance abatements. We will have the wastewater authority agreement on, a special events permit for Halloween in the NAC, an agenda item for Halloween trick or treat hours, and, we have, Mr. Membus and his family have adopted the dog park, so we'll have an adopted park presentation.
We'll try to drag Jill out here for one time.
Thank you. Council comments? Mr. Bembas?
Thank you. First of all, huge shout out to Jacob Scarbeck. Where he gets that kind of energy and dedication, I do not know. Wow. It's like we have a second type of pickerel tournament in the city, just as good. Fireworks were fabulous, and if you know Jacob and his commitment to it, I know a lot of people helped him, but that young man worked and worked and worked, and all I can say is, wow. Good job, Jacob, keep up the good work. Tomorrow, is dinner at First Lutheran Church, community supper, free to everybody. And they're having what they're calling Brinner, is breakfast for dinner. Pancakes, biscuit and gravy, hash browns, egg casserole, which is like quiche without the crust, fruit and beverages. And that is from 5 o'clock to 6:30. And if you're there for dinner, stop on by the clothes bank, especially if you need kids' clothes, or it's that time of year to start looking at winter clothes and sweaters and jackets and all that. We have a ton of that. Halloween and that in the net coming up soon. If you wanna be a cosplayer, we've got a few. I go through a little bit of a background check, cause the safety of the kids, but we'd love to have you. This thing has grown and grown and grown. We've got 35 games for the kids so far, and everything is free. We have 40 vendors, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. And just shout out to everybody in Algonac for helping, and hope to see you there October 21st.
Mr. Carter?
I want to congratulate everyone that was approved or for the, council, and I'm sorry, for the boards and commissions. We appreciate everyone that does the boards and commissions. They're the people that volunteer their time and help to operate all the different things that go on in the city. So congratulations to the new appointees. Again, like Councilman Bimbas said, it was amazing this weekend. Congratulations to Jake, and we so appreciate him, his efforts, and everyone that volunteered. I was there several nights, and it was amazing, the volunteers. There were people just running everywhere, making sure everybody had a great time and the city was well represented.
And thank you for bailing me out.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't even wanna know what
I
that
paid extra to keep him in, then realized he didn't have any money, so I had to help get him back out. Sturgeon Fest and Scarecrow Festival is this weekend at Clay Township Park on Saturday, and there's going to be a beer tent in the evening. Should be a great time, and that's all I have.
Mrs. Davy?
First, thank you to the people who, are taking their time to be on the boards and commissions. Thank you to the Algonac Lions for adopting Lions Field. That was really cool. Jake, I watched the fireworks from my house. That was an impressive fireworks show. That was almost as good, if not better, than Big Road Tournament fireworks. It was really good. And I can't even imagine the work that he put in to doing that. The whole thing was great. Nikolai went up there for a hot minute. I didn't make it up there, but it looked like it. Like Mike said, this is gonna be like the Big Road Tournament for us, and any big events that we can get like that to bring people in, and it was cool. It was really cool. My daughter and I went to Lansing for Walk a Mile last week. It's called Walk a Mile in My Shoes, and what we do is just kind of hang around the Capitol building and, you know, let our legislators know that, oh gee, here we are, guys, and this is, you know, this is a community of adults and kids, who sometimes get overlooked by, state legislators. There were people from, groups from all around the state of Michigan. It was cool, we had a good time. So, other than that, I think that's it.
Ms. Harris?
Thank everybody for coming, and Bump and Run was a riot. It was really fun. There was a lot of people there, and for everybody who, worked really hard, thank you very much, and congratulations to Jake Starbeck. And congratulations to the current and new board members, and, that are on all of our boards and commissions and serve for us. Denise, I would like it if you could please, it doesn't have to be in depth, but if you could do some kind of a timeline for 139 Venetian Way, something from the beginning to the end, so that I can have closure on this. I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
And, I talked to Jake today, and, he put his realty business on hold for about 3 weeks to set this up and do this. And he was out there working today, and, I know he put so much effort into it, and what I hope is, and he may find out tomorrow, I hope that he finds out financially it works out for I'm trying to think of the
Youth for the
group,
Future.
youth for the future and, school kids. But I think he'll find out tomorrow. Thanks to the boards and commission volunteers, some new and some returning. And thanks to the Lions Club for, volunteering to take care of the Lions Field. And, thank you for the upcoming in the. That being said, motion to adjourn.
Corey's not here.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.